Today we are talking about the psychology of people who hate taking pictures of themselves. If you are one of them, then you should probably know this because what you think is just a preference might actually reveal something much deeper about how your mind works. So why do some people love every photo op while others physically cringe at the idea of a selfie? Let's start with the most common reason, body image anxiety. For many, the camera feels like a judge. We live in a culture obsessed with appearance. Instagram feeds, TikTok filters, celebrity magazines at every checkout line. Your brain has seen thousands of edited perfect faces. And when you look at your own unfiltered photo, it doesn't match up. Psychologists call this social comparison theory. You're not really judging yourself against reality. You're judging yourself against an impossible standard. So over time, avoiding photos becomes a form of self-protection. If there's no picture, there's no proof of the gap between how you want to look and how you think you look. Then there's another group. People who hate photos because they hate attention. Think about it. Every time someone takes your picture, especially in public, you become the center of focus. Everyone looks at you. Everyone waits for you to smile. For introverts or people with social anxiety, that moment feels like being under a microscope. It's not about vanity, it's about vulnerability. We're taught to be confident and outgoing. But not everyone is wired that way. So, when the camera comes out, it triggers a fear response. Not because they hate how they look, but because they hate being seen. And here's where it gets deeper. Some people avoid photos because they're disconnected from their own identity. This might sound strange, but hear me out. There's a psychological concept called depersonalization, where you feel detached from yourself, like you're watching your life from the outside. For people experiencing this, seeing a photo of themselves feels weird, almost like looking at a stranger. They don't recognize the person in the image as truly them. It's unsettling, so they avoid it entirely. This is more common than you think, especially among people dealing with depression or trauma. Now, let's talk about control. Some people hate photos because a photo freezes a moment they can't control. In real life, you can adjust your posture, change your expression, move around, but in a picture, you're stuck. That one angle, that 1 second. And if it's unflattering, it lives forever. Americans especially grow up with yearbooks, tagged photos on Facebook, group shots that get shared without permission. The lack of control over how you're portrayed can create deep discomfort. It's not about hating yourself. It's about hating that someone else gets to define how you're remembered. But here's the most interesting part. People who avoid photos often have a rich inner life. They value experiences over documentation. While others are busy staging the perfect shot, they're actually living the moment. Research shows that people who constantly photograph events often remember them less vividly because their brain outsources the memory to the camera. But people who stay present without a phone in their face, they encode memories more deeply. So in a way, hating photos can be a sign of someone who values authenticity over performance. They'd rather be real than look good. Of course, this doesn't mean avoiding photos is always healthy. If it's rooted in shame or fear, that's worth exploring. But if it's simply because you don't need external proof of your existence, that's actually a form of confidence. You don't need validation from likes or comments. You know who you are without the highlight reel. So, which one are you? Do you avoid the camera because you're afraid of judgment or because you've realized your worth isn't measured in pixels? Either way, understanding the why changes everything. If this video made you see yourself differently, hit subscribe. Because we're just getting started with the psychology that actually explains you. And if you want deeper insights, join our newsletter community, where we explore the mindset shifts that change lives. Link is in the description. See you in the next one.